Right now, we're going to switch gears and talk about July 4th. And President Biden already warning, may not happen yet again.
Yeah, celebrations may be canceled if people don't get the COVID vaccine, he says. This comes after a report that over 50% of adults received at least one dose of the vaccine, according to CDC data. Ironic, some say, since the meaning of the 4th of July is celebrating independence and freedom. We've talked about that here, right?
Exactly.
I've said there needs to be an Independence Day to get along with this.
Depends on what science says about independence.
Well,
apparently.
you know, here's where we are, Stacy. We're at a point, this is over a year now. We know who's at most risk. We know that there are treatments and how to treat for it. We know that there are vaccines available. And just about anybody, within a certain number of weeks, just about anybody who wants it can get it. So at what point do we rip off the mask and say, okay, we all know the ground rules, let's get on with life? To me, that would be a real Independence Day that I think people would be celebrating across the country.
100%.
I say do it now. Take your mask off now. So we know for a fact that the virus is 0.01 microns in size, and the masks are not the ones that everyone's wearing. We're not talking about the N95s, which filter 95%. The regular cloth masks and surgical masks that everyone's wearing the most are not effective against screening against the virus. Now, it can hold your own spittle particles in, which is helpful, but it's not to prevent you from catching the virus if you encounter someone who has it. So I say do it now. We are 400 days, depending on which day you choose to take as the first day we tried to slow the spread. We're 400 days into it. We're in year 2. I tweeted that out with a lot of people because this is just silly. I don't mean that I don't take coronavirus seriously. And I certainly think if you're feeling symptoms, if you don't feel well, you need to stay home. And we need to be careful, wash our hands. We need to be smart as we are grown adults and we're known to do. But people are going to catch coronavirus. People are going to catch other viruses. That's just the nature of living among people. But you know what helps your immune system? Sunlight, being outside, wearing a mask, smiling at people. The endorphins you can release in hugging someone and saying hello are going to boost your immune system. So take off your mask and start living again. And for certainly, Joe Biden can't stop me from doing the 4th of July. He's just not doing it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I did last 4th of July.
Right.
So, by the way, I appreciate it. I hadn't expected today when I woke up to hear the term spittle particle. But
I was going to say, we can just wrap up the show now that we've said spittle.
We can just close it out right there. Dennis, I think a lot of people also are bemused on one hand and frustrated on the other by seeing Dr. Fauci wearing 2 masks after getting both vaccinations. The same with the president. I got both vaccinations. I would I wear my mask out of respect for other people in certain circumstances. But there's a limit to how long I'm willing to do that. And there's got to be an incentive to get the vaccine. If your life doesn't change, why are you even going to bother?
I couldn't agree more. This is all about risk analysis. And, you know, a year ago, we didn't have that much data in order to analyze the risk. Now we've got a plethora of data. And like you pointed out, Bob, we know what age groups are most susceptible, which are the vulnerable ones. We know what precautions to take. You know, ever since before the pandemic started, during the pandemic, and even today, my family has been hosting a steak night every Sunday night. We've had as few as 6 and as many as 22. But you know what we did? We practiced personal hygiene. If you didn't want to come because you were scared or felt vulnerable, you didn't have to come. But we weren't going to let it impact our lives to where we became just absolute social hermits. Right. And, you know, we've got to get beyond this. This country needs to be able to go out and enjoy its beauty and enjoy the celebrations of especially the founding of our nation on July 4th. We've got to stop the political pandemic theater that we're in right now.
Yeah.
And let's move forward. We're getting through this, and we're going to get through it even stronger. We just have to be bold about it.
Yeah, to me, Andrea, the frustrating thing is I don't want zero risk. I mean, I just want to understand the risk.
I just want to be able to live my life. I want to be able to make decisions for myself, whether it's a vaccine, whether I brush my teeth, you know, whether I smoke cigarettes, which I don't. We need to get back to celebrating our independence, and that means individual liberty and individual responsibility for our choices. And there's a reason why Joe Biden wants to hold out and try to seize control of the 4th of July. He said that we need to be able to celebrate our independence from a virus. See the game that's being played on us? This ain't about a virus. I feel like like I'm a broken record today, because everything about the Democrats, every policy, every action, every move that they make is about seizing control over our lives, over our businesses, over every aspect of society so that they can usher in their Marxist utopia. This was never about a virus. Right? This was always about control. The masks were mind control devices, and the second you put one on, they had you. They had you. How do we know masks don't work? Because Fauci told us. How do we know social distancing doesn't work? Because Fauci told us. How do we know asymptomatic spread is a hoax? Because Fauci told us.
Right.
And yet we still have people believing in it. You know what? 4th of July is my party, and I'll barbecue if I want to.
And Heather, it almost sounds like he's trying to threaten people. Well, if you don't get this vaccination, I don't know if I'm going to let you have 4th of July. I got news for you. If there's any problem with people getting the vaccines, that kind of psychology won't work on them.
No, and I got news for you, and I'll just be honest at this particular moment, because people may have noticed I got off the set for a little while. I've had one shot of the vaccine, and I think I'm having some weird reaction that's going on today. And I'm not a person that gets sick, but I have this going on because I did get the one shot of the Pfizer. I'm due for my second shot towards the end of next week or the beginning of the next week. And, you know, if this is what's going to happen, and if you're going to tell me after I get 2 shots of a vaccine that then I can't do Independence Day and I can't take my mask off, well, I'm not one of those people that took a picture of getting the vaccine, but I do plan on being one of those folks that takes a picture when I take my mask off. And that's going to be 2 weeks after my second shot. That's going to happen.
I look forward to getting rid of those spittle particles.
Yeah. Or I was hit with a spittle particle today. Maybe that happened.
All right. Stand by, folks.